Before the battle begins, one thing I had omitted from my homespun rules was an army breakpoint. I don't want this battle to be a slugfest to the last man standing. That rarely happens in battles in any period, let alone the American Civil War. The elan counters record the spirit, morale and cohesion, not the casualties suffered. An infantry regiment has an elan of 6 if fresh. If it is reduced to just 1 elan, it doesn't mean the unit of 400 to 500 men is down to 50. It just means that the unit is spent, the men just cannot take any more. They are no longer able to function as a unit. I'll set the breakpoint for both sides at 1/3, and as there are 11 units per side, I'll round that up to 4. A unit with a single elan remaining, who is basically spent, will be counted against that total, just as a totally routed unit would be. Once 4 units are lost or have a single elan remaining, that army will retire from the field. Union Initiative. Counter battery fire, the Union engaged first, with 1 success. This means the Confederate battery now shows a blue disc. The same on the other flank with counter battery fire, although the arrows are pointing to the 11th Mississippi. I'm not quite sure why. Nothing, maybe they should have been firing at the infantry after all. The Confederate artillery respond with counter battery fire of their own, and the whole line advances. Sometimes you get lucky. Even with half-dice, they do the job. J Battery, 1st Ohio, is destroyed. A single hit and a fallback inflicted on G Battery, 4th US Artillery. The Union win the initiative, and Huger's artillery are the target. With no luck. The Louisiana artillery are now free to concentrate on the 107th Ohio, but as you can see, not a lot of luck. Huger's battery attempts to finish off the enemy artillery, and they have a success. G Battery is removed. The whole rebel line continues to advance. The table at the end of the turn. Once again the Union artillery failed to live up to expectations. The rebel guns are wounded but still functional. However, they are now becoming masked by their own advancing infantry. Confederate initiative. The artillery is limbered and a general advance begins. The Union decline to move. They have nothing in range to fire, and they win the initiative on the next roll. This time they do advance, the idea being that the rebels will have to move into musket range and not be able to fire this turn. Same all along the Union line and advance. Rebel troops continue to advance within musket range. I omitted to take a photograph of the initiative roll, but it was won by the Confederates. 2nd Virginia Cavalry charged the 1st Vermont as muskets open up all along the line. On the other flank, 1st Michigan Cavalry charged the 17th Connecticut Cavalry. No success for the 2nd Virginia Cavalry. The 107th Ohio take one hit and a pushback from 5th Alabama. No photograph of this, but 33rd Massachusetts took one hit and a fallback from the 13th Alabama. Across the road on the other flank, 11th Mississippi scored 2 hits on the 154th New York. 42nd Mississippi just a single hit on the 27th Pennsylvania. 55th North Carolina managed 3 on the 134th New York. 2 hits and a pushback recorded by 2nd Mississippi on 73rd Pennsylvania. 1st Maryland, 2 hits, Sabres County melee mounted, and 2 pushbacks. Situation on the battlefield after the rebel volley and charges. It was bad, but it could have been much worse. On this flank, it is the Union who are victorious in the cavalry melee. 2nd Virginia pushed back with 2 hits by 1st Vermont. 107th Ohio are not in musket range, so the 33rd Massachusetts devastate 13th Alabama with 3 hits. 73rd Ohio turn to face the danger on their flank from the 1st Tennessee. 154th New York on the 11th Mississippi. 27th Pennsylvania on the 42nd Mississippi. 134th New York against the 55th Carolina. 73rd Pennsylvania on the 2nd Mississippi. The west side of the table at the end of the 10. The Union had the slight upper hand here. Across the road, very even, the Union musketry had been more effective than the rebels, making the forces now much more on a par elan-wise. And finally the whole table. Union initiative. The 1st Vermont charged the 2nd Virginia. Hit and a pushback. Cavalry only have elan of 4, so that gives them a red disc. The unit is spent, so it's now 2-1 to the rebels. 33rd Massachusetts send the rebels running. 1st Tennessee are forced to pull back. 73rd Ohio engaged 13th Alabama. 2 hits and a double fallback. 11th Mississippi are pushed back. 27th Pennsylvania do enough to reduce the 42nd Mississippi to a spent force. Army morale now stands at 2 losses apiece. Remember, the red discs are classed the same as lost units. The 134th New York on the 55th North Carolina. The 73rd Pennsylvania also pushed back 2nd Mississippi with losses. White goes to green. Second Virginia Cavalry have to retreat. Louisiana artillery unlimber to take on the enemy cavalry. The units rally and once again advance. Ignore the smoke, I forgot to remove it on the last turn. Hooger's battery and now unlimbered. Again, ignore the smoke, all except the spent battalion rally and advance again. 1st Maryland smash into 17th Connecticut. 2 hits destroyed them. Army morale is now 3-2 in favour of the rebels. The field at the end of the term. The Confederates win initiative. Second Virginia Cavalry continue to withdraw. The Louisiana Battery fires canister at the 1st Vermont Cavalry. Sabres count for canister, but still only a single hit on the cavalry. A poor photo but woeful shooting by 5th Alabama with a full salvo. Hooger's battery open up on the 154th New York with devastating results. The 154th New York are now fatigued and can only withdraw. Army morale is now 4-2 in favour of the Confederates, but we are still mid-turn, so the battle continues. The New Yorkers pull back. The 134th New York are also shattered. They too receive a red disc, and Army morale is now 5-2. 73rd Pennsylvania are forced back right into the path of the charging 1st Maryland Cavalry, with predictable results. The regiment is destroyed, Army morale now 6-2 in favour of the rebels. The table before the Union have their final turn. The Vermont Cavalry charge and destroy the Louisiana Battery. Morale now stands at 6-3 to the rebels. Only one other Union unit is in range. The 27th Pennsylvania hit and pushed back the 11th Mississippi. It is not enough. A Confederate victory. The Union troops were forced to fall back beyond Newdale. Moving north and then eventually east to rejoin their army, Johnny Reb was able to march through Newdale. They would eventually rejoin their division, commanded by Major General Heath, and a month later they would be assaulting McPherson's Ridge at Gettysburg.